But yeah, okay, so let's go to the topic of the evening. Um, Today, we are talking about color and how we like to wear it and how we think about it. We've already done a podcast episode on this. If you want to hear, me and Spencer, R.I.P. If
He's
you guys
okay,
want to
by
hear
the
that,
way.
go listen to Sound Direction on the podcasting platforms. There's a really great guide. Oh, there's an essay I wrote as well that kind of goes into more of my thought process, and of course, we have linked a the little note guide. Maybe I can find it here as well. Um, I can send this in the chat here. But yeah, Eric, who is joining us today as our special guest or one of our guests, have wrote a little bit of a guide for us, and we appreciate it. So we put this guide in the chat here if you guys want to follow along. And here we are. Okay,
I'm
so
gonna get doxxed when I press this link, huh?
yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna get a
Color.
virus.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know where we can start this. Again, in the chat, if you guys have any, um, you know, any topics or any questions or stuff that you want to talk about in regards to color, please feel free to put that in the chat here. I have MJ send me a screenshot so we can send this over on the airwaves or on the Instagram airwaves. But let's just jump in here. MJ, kind of curious since obviously you're the producer and you don't get on mic during the main thing. Do you think about color when you're creating outfits, or what's your relationship to it?
Um, yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I just copy you guys from the Discord and
Hey,
everything.
hey, that's fine too. That's fine.
Because I mean, well, it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's also like, yeah, it makes
You're letting other people make the
sense.
combinations for you, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
and I mean, things just already like exist that are color combinations that work, like red and green, you know, like some sort of red
Right.
and green, um, yellow and brown, like I've
Well,
done stuff like
this
that.
is I don't know if we specifically got to this in the actual podcast episode, but it's like the idea about copying other things is um it's kind of similar to that idea where a lot of what I believe about menswear comes from like secondhand knowledge, and it comes from like, pop culture, right? Like I don't think red, as like a preppy blazer thing. Okay, I do think that way, but like I don't think of like originally, like oh yeah, like Ivy League prep school kids. I think of like I don't know, like some show where a kid put on a red jacket and some kid made fun of him or something like that. Like I think of like that aspect of it. So like the colors and everything is all like from secondhand stuff that other people have tried. Like again, purple socks. I like purple, but to me it's not. I don't know where Michael Hill got it from, but to me it's like okay, I'm gonna be Michael Hill. It
Yeah,
has no other kind of connotation. Although as we see from like the guide, right? Like we can work backwards from it. Like purple is regal, it's expensive, to make back in the day and everything like that. So maybe that's where the original guys got it from, but to me it's like okay, well that's that. Like again, black jeans. It's punky because I saw people wearing it at Hot Topic, not because I like I was around skaters. I mean, I was
Mhm.
around whatever the Christian version of a skater was. Uh,
the
like
Christian
the one
Skater
guy
skaters.
in my high
Jesus.
school. Yeah.
But what's interesting about the approach, I think, is that it illustrates how cultural color is, and that
Yes.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's fun to get into like the historicity of colors and things like that, like the different reasons why like certain colors exist in clothing. But like ultimately, what it boils down to is that even in our modern age in 2021, even if you're not a person who's like I'm going to learn about all this like intricate like machinations of color, it's like I saw shit on Insta and I'm trying to kind of copy it. It's like that exchange is still going on.
No, absolutely. It's yeah. It's really interesting to think of because I didn't really, I wasn't really aware of too much of the stuff. I thought I was a business student. I never took any art classes back
Ooh.
in, I know, back in college. So I really wasn't fully aware of some of this stuff, and And certainly, I think one of the reasons why when we first thought about it, like it was really tough for me and Spencer to think about color because it's like how exactly do we, think about color? Because I feel like it's so internalized at this point, at least for us. We're just you can call it unaware or ignorance or something like that, but it's yeah. Then reading through it's like oh yeah, we definitely do have like we try and evoke certain things and we can kind of see the history of like you said like the khakis and military
Mhm.
clothing and then of course military clothing became a lot of the basis for menswear, khakis, chinos and stuff like that, so it kind of carries on that tradition. um
Like half the colors they put in there are like based on military for like a pretty specific reason. Because it's like, yeah, you just see the through lines so easily. But like something that cracked me up when we first started talking about this in the Discord was Ethan. You were like, I couldn't write an essay on this, and I was like, I don't know, Ethan. I've been in this Discord for like 6 months or whatever. You could write an essay on anything. I'm not worried about it.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I gotta get like that inspiration part behind it, where like, where I can like latch onto something. And again, like it took a long time for me to go, okay, like what exactly is my philosophy on color? Or and what does that even mean in general, right? Because it's like I always knew, right? I remember this. I don't think I put this in the Discord in the essay or if I mentioned the podcast, but I remember being at the Armory and Alex Winchell. Well, I guess maybe he was at Drake's at the time, but he was saying like how he was helping a customer, and even though he hates saying it, the best way to sell like a fun thing is like to go, and it gives you a pop of color, and the way he
A meaningless
disdainfully,
word.
yeah, exactly, and the disdain he had for that is like kind of like how I felt I feel like color was like so arbitrary, right? Like it's just if you like the color, you like it, right? And
Mhm.
that's what it was for a long time, but it's obviously very important. Again, to bring up Alex again, I remember he was talking with Bruce Bohr. Like I think he posted a story like a couple of years ago, and I asked him like, "Oh shit, I never got to meet Bruce. Like, how is he?" Because obviously the Drake's guys slash Armory guys have met him a couple of times, and he was like, "Yeah, Bruce was talking about the ideal shade of French blue for end-on-end shirts." And I thought that that's so funny. Where like they have like the swatch book and they're like, okay, well this one's good for this and this one's good for that. And I'm like, wow, I mean, I could see the difference between the two different shades of blue for this end on end shirt, but to say that like there's a preference for certain things, light could mean this, darker could mean that, like I think they're like, oh yeah, well this feels more like a European CEO versus like an American trad, like there's like the kind of two different kind of
Mhm.
sides on there, and so it's like it's interesting like the way the color comes up is so inherent and it might be more subtle than you think but it's still there like everyone has like an idea of how to wear color and what it means to them. um Before we move on, I want to address what David says here. David says, I think the easiest way to get into color is through accessories. Getting a brightly colored cap or pair of socks is pretty harmless. The classic red tie is an easier segue into adding color into your rotation. If you are really averse to getting to color, getting darker colors makes it easier. Ochre, crimson, forest green are much easier to pull off for most guys. That's true. That's true. I mean, I think there's
Good
that classic.
color name drops, by the way. Props to you, commenter.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, it wasn't just the regular, right? The regular. What's
Like
ochre
a
again?
lot of what I do is
Brown?
ochre is green, like the
Oh, it's
vegetable.
green. Oh
Like
yeah.
I do tell people quite often that like all I learned in art school was different words for colors,
Wait,
which
it's
isn't
not
even
green.
true. Oh,
It's
ochre.
orange.
Well, ochre is yeah, it's kind of like a brown. I heard the okra like the vegetable.
Ochre. Ochre. Maybe yeah, I must have mispronounced when I was looking at it. Yeah, ochre. Yeah,
I was
ochre.
like, that's a deep cut, bro. I'm proud of you. But ochre is very cool too, as we talked about kind of in the
Yeah,
podcast, where it's like one of the oldest color known to man.
that's right. It's it's just yeah, it's sad how guys feel like they can't do it. And again, I'm sure some of us who've worked in retail, like Cool Cutter saying here, this color will make it pop on a tattoo. Like guys are so averse to it. I remember. I think it was on the podcast or one of the things right where Spencer was like he gave a guy like a striped red and blue tie, and the guy's like that's
It's
crazy.
too
And I'm like,
bold for me.
what
That's
are you
wild.
talking about, bro? Like that's like nothing. And it's like I don't know where guys got this idea that that color is so
Scary.
scary. Yeah, scary. Again, like we can't say Beau Brummel. Again, we need to have a whole thing on like how like being anti Beau Brummel is stupid because again, if you look at Esquire, like the golden era, people wore colorful clothing. Like it's not, he did not make menswear boring. Like there was a time when menswear was still cool. So I think like it happened fairly recently where like even in the '90s you had some crazy stuff and all of a sudden it just got like straight up boring in recent years. Um,
Well,
but yeah,
there are lots
Well,
of like things you could point to as like potential culprits, and we talked a little bit about like the puritanical aspect of only black and white,
yeah,
setting the course for a lot of American fashion for a long time. But yeah, like I mean, if you look at trendsetters in the '70s, the '80s, the '90s, I mean, there's color amongst people who are interested in wearing color, but I mean, I think the
Well,
most likely thing is the homogenization of male fashion
right. The
kind of as fashion
minimalism
trends have.
has killed.
Well, and is it even minimalism when it's diluted down to like big box stores and things like that, where it's like,
Right.
well, the only thing that's going to go off the shelf is stuff that is inoffensive and that people won't, that are willing to buy if they live in Billings, Montana, right? So then
Right.
it's going to be black, it's going to be navy, it's going to be gray. It's no other
Well,
colors, basically.
I think what plays into, I think, the minimalism movement, like the millennial minimalism, is that every piece of clothing you have has to go with every other piece of clothing you have, because
Oof.
you want to have this utilitarian, low impact kind of thing, and it's like that's just not the case. Like I have clothes that just don't go with anything, that only go with a specific thing,
Mhm.
and it's like because of because of my sort of maximalist um outlook on clothing is what allows me to play with so much color.
Well, and Jason, you bring up an interesting point that something we talk a lot about is kind of the male fashion advice mindset, where it's like your wardrobe should be this amazing capsule where every piece is interchangeable and all of the colors are completely complementary.
Right.
And that kind of ties into all of the stuff which like in many ways y'all like rightly glossed over about like the color wheel and harmonies and stuff like that, where it's like nerdy men basically think that by like categorizing elemental things in their lives like clothing and color, they will control it and it can't it can't hurt
It's
them
not gonna
anymore, and
happen.
it's not true. It's like it's art,
Well, I mean,
unfortunately.
you could argue that like Howard Wolowitz had a command of the color wheel, and I would not want to dress like Wolowitz. Like yeah, it's so coordinated. I mean, okay, so there's this. Okay, I don't want to. I'm not gonna.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a cyberbullying thing.
No, let's
But
You
make it
there's
a
this.
stop
cyberbullying
bullying
thing though.
people, Ethan,
There's
please.
this. I know. There's this guy MG and I know, um, and he it's not menswear, but he would wear very coordinated outfits. And I think most guys are kind of like this too, where like, so again, I don't want to be mean here, but um, so if it was like an Angels, if he was wearing like an Angels, Anaheim Angels ball cap, it's red, so then you would wear like a red T-shirt, and then you'd wear like black and red basketball shorts, and then
Mm-hmm.
you'd wear red, Jordans. I don't know what it would be, but it's just not good. It's just not good. He also had a SpongeBob shirt that he would wear with yellow basketball shorts and a yellow cap.
Oh, dude.
Arguably worse.
It's a,
But I
there's a
remember
lot of intentionality there. I mean, we have
there
to
is.
give
I mean,
him
there is.
credit
So
for
it,
that.
it's really right because it's like you can't say that like these people don't have command over color. They clearly know how to put it together. I guess I don't
They
know.
can identify similar colors. They did it.
Yeah. But there's this idea. I think what was it called? Like a lot of vintage guys, I think, would also kind of do something similar. Where I've never seen too many examples of it in like Esquire. Maybe again, these people have seen photographs or something that's a little bit different than what Esquire wanted you to wear. Because Esquire again was like the hashtag menswear bloggers of the day. Not many people actually did the Esquire man look.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this thing where I was talking to this guy, and he admitted that he liked to um wear kind of color block. And he's very bold, and he was actually pretty good, like like red cap, brown suit, red socks, black shoes. Like it was still kind of in the vein of Drake's in a sense, but like very, you know, um, it was still color blocking. And I remember him saying that this was intentional because he said like he grew up playing hockey, and in hockey you have like like any sports you have like a jersey,
Yeah.
and there's an idea like or maybe even like rugby shirts are like color blocked, and he thought about like it's very there's almost a uniform aspect to color blocking in that way, to kind of exude those old school sports kind of a thing. So like yeah, he dressed very like so for example he could do like he would do like a navy jacket, dark spear point shirt, striped tie, and then like red or pink 50s trousers, and then like two-tone shoes. So it's very like bam, 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 And so it's interesting to see it like that, and this guy obviously like he's doing it through a different lens, right? Again, like I said earlier, right? People have like their own ways of processing color and how they wear it. And so it's cool to see how other people kind of find out what that philosophy is for themselves. Because again, I think mine is always based on just what aesthetic it is. It's not like again certain things to me lend themselves to be used in other in other aesthetics, right? Like a lot of dark indigos, obviously workwear, browns, browns and greens, milk syrup. You got like the reds. Red blazers are very preppy, whereas brown blazers are very more country trad, so it's like one of those things.
I
But
do want to jump in before we lose the thread on this. That's something really interesting you said is that like in this guy's purview, like he was kind of emulating a sporting look, like if you're going to like a big football game or something like that. And I think that for normal people, right, who are not maybe like as into clothing as we are, one way that like men can express themselves is like, I would never wear yellow and purple together, but I am a fan of Louisiana State University, so I can go to the game and wear yellow and purple together. And like by the nature of sports teams needing to have different colors and patterns to differentiate themselves, like that's kind of like a weird gateway to get people into them. Not necessarily to great effect as your friend who loved the like Chicago Bulls, right, or whatever, totally coordinated that way, right? So I mean, I think it's just interesting how it's like, some people can feel completely perplexed by color, but when their color means something to them, then they're way more comfortable with it.
It's easy.
That's really good because as David said here, we got a couple of comments. We got Dan, which I'll address in a second. But David says here a lot of apprehension, maybe the guy not wanting to look like that wacky guy, and it's so interesting, right? Like you said, like these guys. Again, we're generalizing here, but they will wear wacky stuff to a sports game or something like that to like exude something, but comes to classic menswear, they just can't do it, and it all leads to like that idea that I've always kind of said where like menswear occupies a weird space in people's like minds that it can't be wacky, and only weird people will wear it wacky, or fashionistas or whatever will wear it wacky, but like regular people can't do it, even though Esquire man they try to get the regular man to wear it. You even see like in some old Gant blazer old like Gant illustrations and Gant advertisements where they have like mattress jackets and like black watch jackets and red jackets and etc. And then even Jason and I were in Paul Stewart, and they had like cashmere, purples and jewel tones.
Oh yeah, that
and,
was just nuts.
And, it's awesome, and it's so weird, where like again menswear, people just can't do it, and maybe again it's a fairly recent thing where menswear is seen as like something that's maybe just like be normal, blues, electric blue at least.
Just
like,
be normal.
Electric blue and tan, baby.
Oh God.
Crazy.
And I mean, can't you look at photos and illustrations of like normal people on vacation and kind of see that like even then they're kind of using tailoring and wearing interesting colors and patterns? It's just like a fallacy to think that everyone was the man in the gray flannel suit back in the day.
Absolutely. I mean, even today, right? Like guys, I can't wear that suit. Proceeds to buy like pink swim shorts. You know what I mean? Like you see,
only wears chubbies.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know.
Purple
And
baggies.
so, and again, it's probably because, right, they can't attribute those same ideas to like the trousers that they're wearing, the shirts that they're wearing, the jackets. It's really unfortunate there, which is why again, like I try, at least to me, right? It's always about aesthetics. Like if you pick something like, okay, if you want to wear a suit, you like suits, that's cool. But you also like sports teams. Well, here's how you can do that, together. You can try and approximate or find the through line there to make it a little bit more accessible to them. Um, what does Dan say here? Oh yeah, this kind of goes to what we were saying about like, the whole versatile wardrobe thing. Dan says guys don't have a great eye for color in combination, or they don't think about it for long enough. They see pink chinos and they say that's cool, so they buy them, and then they have no idea how to wear them. I mean, that's just kind of like a thing in general, right? Guys buy cool things without knowing how it'll work. They'll think they'll figure it
Guilty.
out later, you know. Um,
Buying the
but
ingredients before you know what you want to cook.
that's how I think of it, right? Because it's like, I mean, the thing is, right? Like, I don't think I wear it much daring color than my socks. But like, like guys will wear like some fucking anime t-shirt and like chino shorts or something like that. Like it'll be like they are using color somehow, but it's for some reason they give it a pass because it's not like a button-up shirt or something, you know?
Yeah, well, when we start
Um,
getting the printed anime button-up shirts, then it's a totally different game. I don't know.
what happened to the Pokemon one, right? Then the Pokemon like
There
it
we go.
sold out. All those the custom like Pokemon
Oh
print
yeah,
button ups.
I will say
Remember
though
that?
with
that
the
those were all in like very nice patterns and very like synchronous colors. It wasn't like that, some Pokemon have crazy fucking colors, man, and they were like, no, we're gonna mute out the Slowbro or whatever, the Gyarados, and it just looks nice.
but if I recall correctly, those collars were so small. They were like tiny.
You can't. I don't. I love Star Wars. I am not gonna buy a Star Wars print shirt, even if it has Spear Point collar. There is no way in hell that I am buying one of
Well,
those
I mean,
things.
it's like those. Like I'm sure Ethan's also had people at his school, like the Asian like button up all the way shirt, skinny jeans
Yeah.
sort of look,
That. Yeah.
patterned
That.
button up shirt. It kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of
It was a
that.
great look.
Yeah,
Nope.
Tumblr era
Tumblr era
button up
stuff.
shirts. It was
Um.
it was like that to me.
Yeah. David says, I think guys should just go for it and hopefully learn along the way. I know what I did in the beginning was bad. Now it's good. It just took time. I think we should discourage guys who don't know not to do it. I don't think that I mean, we're not really discouraging anything. Hopefully not. I mean, the idea is to kind of just be aware of it, right? Because again, everyone wears color somehow. People like
Hmm.
certain colors. There's a way to do it. I mean, in the essay, right? I'm like, okay, well, or even in all the other, like the corduroy, like, oh, I want a purple suit, a purple worsted suit. It's kind of weird. It like the fat, like a worsted wool kind of doesn't work that way. If it's spun really, really, finely, like Super 120s, it'll get kind of shiny, and you don't want that. But purple and corduroy, where it gets dustier, it gets more faded, it gets more muted. That's cool too. And you might even say, like, I get the argument that I think some guy DM me about, where it's like, oh well, then you're not really wearing the purple. I'm like, it's still purple. It's still there. It's
Wait,
not.
I don't understand this argument. You're not wearing the purple, but it's still purple.
Well, it's like I think it's the idea where it's like like if you wear color, it should be saturated, kind of a thing. Like, and I think that's true. Where like
Um,
like
Dumb
for example,
take.
I know, yeah.
Don't
I mean,
like it.
for example, right? Like I can't wear the shaggy dog sweaters, and those are very colorful. Those are like orange, teal blue, green, and we can't wear that here. We're gonna die in LA. But what we can do is see when Uniqlo has like their lamb's wool ones, and at that point you're kind of at the mercy of what people make. Like again, obviously, like I could want a more vibrant purple or a plum suit, but if Atelier Fugue doesn't stock that color, I'll have to approximate it with something else. And yeah, one guy did say like, hey, but like you're not doing the vibrant one that you would think of when you get a colorful suit. But I'm like, it's still there, and I'm also being smart about it too. I don't want to be the guy in the orange cotton suit, but I could be the guy in orange cotton pants. Like I feel like an orange jacket is just not versatile for me. Like I'm not gonna I don't have to go all in on it. You know what I mean? Like I can still find a way to make it still mine, or I'll wear orange socks. You know, like there's a way to kind of the way to kind of get to color in a way that still kind of makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with an orange suit too. I mean, you can. There's that one guy. I forgot what his name is, but he worked with I was trying to find the picture. Go ahead, Eric.
I think that unfortunately, like the icon for very saturated color in menswear is unfortunately the Joker, which carries a lot of bad cultural connotations.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
can't do
unfortunate.
purple with a lime green shirt and a daisy flower
An
on my
orange
lapel. It's
tie.
like, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, on one hand, you would just have to be very like tasteful about it, and on the other hand, like, no one is pointing the gun to you and being like, "That's for you to start square run." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and like you even can look at the recent Joker movie, and it's like, yeah, there's a better takes on like how to do like a multicolored Joker outfit in that movie because it's a little more muted and more tasteful. As much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty unfortunate because like I actually do semi like the Joker in the latest Joker film. No, sorry, the Joker's outfit. I don't like the Joker.
He loves his
Um,
politics,
I
everyone, and
love the
everything
Joker,
that he
dude.
endorses.
yeah, Ethan Wong. I love the Joker.
Somebody clip it.
But yeah, it's it's sad that it's associated with the Joker, right? Like that's kind of the downside there. Um,
And it's
what were you
kind of
saying?
bullshit because if you look at any sort of, superhero movie where like back in the day you only had like four inks and that's why every color every like character in a comic book was really colorful was so that they could like distinguish them because ink was cheap in that way, right? Like the modern interpretations, like what we're seeing their use in like modern movies is all of these uniforms are muted. You know what I mean? So it's like even that we can't even have saturated color in like the predominant genre that's like running Hollywood right now, which really like is interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like Captain America's gotten so dark and everything. You lose all the blue and
Very
red.
navy, very
Yeah, it's
navy.
very navy. It's the Shield stealth suit. I think is what the canon name is.
Like the Incredible Hulk is lime green in the comics, y'all. Like, can you imagine what those
Yeah,
movies would be
and he
like?
looks
If it was
so
that
faded
colorful?
in the film in the films. It's
He looks like
ridiculous.
he like just ate too much spinach in the film. Like that's how like
Yeah,
unsaturated he is.
yeah. It's really it's kind of sad. I mean, so Dan brings up something good here, where he brings up the idea of like doing not color wrong, but I guess it's kind of wrong, right? Where you do like the red shirt, black suit, the very prom look. But I feel like that comes with taste, right? I think we mentioned this before, where like again, red poplin, stiff shirt from H&M, probably no good. But red linen, maybe red like a chamois shirt or a red denim sawtooth shirt, stuff like that. I feel like that makes it cooler,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe like a vibrant red T-shirt might not be good, but a red, roll neck, lamb's wool sweater, cable knit sweater, stuff like that. With color, it's always about like finding the right fabric and the way to do it, right? Red rayon
I would
vintage.
throw
Thank
out
you,
there,
Dan.
right,
Yeah.
that like you could maybe do any like color combination no matter how saturated if you had the right materials behind it. And maybe like the converse of that is you could have like the world's best color combination, and if it's all like polyester, sheen, shiny, it would be pretty shitty. So
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like I linked a picture of Dan here in the chat, and I actually think that orange jacket doesn't look that bad. Um, I also think that
yeah,
it looks really good with the brown trousers. Like when you kind of scale it back a little bit, it's still pretty good. You know. Yeah, red gabardine scoops. Yeah, thank you. Waistcoats. I mean, yeah, we're talking about look merino wool. Yeah, what do you call it?
Those-
Knit cardigans, knit
Sleeveless
waistcoats,
cardigan.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleeveless cardigans. Yeah, I mean Drake's really good. Purple, green, yellow. And yellow is classic. Red's classic. I have the red one. I mean, yeah, sweater vests and stuff like that. I mean, and you see that there's also precedent for it. You see that in like old trad stuff and and illustrations and everything. So again, there's lots of ways to. I mean, again, David said earlier, um, doing it through like knitwear or like accessories, socks. It's such an easy way. I mean, that's kind of how it was for me. Like I used to only really wear like black socks, all just is coming right now. Um but it's like at some point I saw Drake's or something and it was a way for me to go, okay, well that's kind of fun. And that's a way of like incorporating color in a way that I didn't think of before. Because, with vintage, right, a lot of and I'm sure Eric knows this too, where like, you just didn't have a lot of like crazy stuff, vintage wise of like colors and stuff. And you still had them, but it's still hard to find them, especially after being so old, right? I think I mentioned I had a um, purple peak lapel 1920s jacket, purple herringbone wool, and I'm sure they still had red and greens and everything, but either they're rare, you just don't, or you don't find them. And so for me, I thought that I was kind of just relegated to like blues and browns and grays, and the way to kind of branch out is to wear fun socks or colorful socks, and then of course that kind of led to tassel loafers at some point because like okay, I want to show off more sock, but you can't do that with a lace up. So how do you do that? You do tassel loafers. I will say shoes are maybe something you shouldn't do colors with. Um,
It's
like
tricky in classic menswear. I mean, I don't know. If you're doing like sneakers or something, it would be one thing, but there's just less
that's
of the
true.
precedent for it, right?
That's true. That's true. I mean, yeah, like it's yeah, with menswear, I guess like suede Belgians or suede slippers I think are probably cool for like color. Like I think, cheetah print, red suede, kind of stuff like that is pretty cool to wear with like black tie or something.
Oh, well, I mean, I
Um
guess I have a menswear confession here, which is that I love blue suede shoes, but I think that those are kind of like hashtag menswear in a bad way. I don't know what you guys think about those.
yeah, I think they're bad. I mean, it's like I
It's
know
fair. I
like
mean, they probably are, but at the same time, it's like I like what I like.
I mean, I have blue suede Onitsuka Tigers.
Sounds pretty
Um
sick.
yeah, those are cool. I don't really wear them because they don't really jive with my style. They're kind of like a chunky, like 574, 374. I don't know. They're kind of a very chunky sneaker. And I just doesn't really jive with what I normally wear. I should get rid of them, but I just don't have the heart to do it. Um, but yeah,
Put
I
in the
mean,
vault. It's fine.
yeah, yeah, the archive. But yeah, it's like what was I gonna say? Blue suede shoes. I had blue suede penny loafers. I got it from work at Banana Republic. They were too
I
big.
mean,
We only made up to a size down to a size 8 and definitely a size 7. Um but I had those for a while and I definitely loved wearing them, but with all blue, like you wear a blue suit, blue chinos, it's too samey, right? It's too close. That's kind of one thing I don't really like doing. Like I said earlier, with like wearing brown, like when I'm wearing a brown suit, I wear black shoes just for a contrast. Um, so let's go into the comments again here. David says having a darker complexion helps if you're a pale guy. Hard to pull off some colors. Can't relate. I'm not white, so unfortunate.
now, okay, I guess, I am speaking as a white male here, but I think that
As
a
a
lot
white
of
male,
that, as a white man, and I touched on it a little bit in the notes. I just think that it's like not real, man. You can wear whatever color you want, and the whole idea behind like, well, this color doesn't match your complexion, is this weird kind of artifact. I think you can say pretty. There's a lot of evidence that points to it of the kind of otherization of foreign countries. It was a tool of imperialism because other countries had amazing histories of dyes and patterns and colorful things, right? And
yeah,
then the European conquerors who were going around the globe had a more homogeneous, darker, somber style, and they used that as a way to lord it over other people, right? And there are lots of like really messy color connotations with different kind of ethnicities and places around the world. And I would just say the only maybe like hard and fast rule about color and complexion is you cannot wear a color that is the exact same shade as your skin, because from far away you will appear to be naked. But other than that, I want people to feel empowered to wear whatever they want. And even then, if you have a sweet like your skin color colored suit, like, and you just love it, I mean, more power for you. Break the
okay,
rules, but
here's a good question then. that I wish Jason was still here. I mean, I didn't get to talk to him about like Velvet and shit. But do you think that you inherently know what colors work best on you?
No, it's none of us came out the womb like, you know what, peak lapels, that's it, baby. I mean, like, this is a thing
Well,
that we
I
inherited.
guess what I'm saying is because David's saying like he's not saying not matching complexion, but like lighter colors can clash with lighter skin tones. Like for me, I don't like light. I just don't like light brown in general. You know,
Mhm.
and I don't really. I wear a lot like khaki is not light brown. Khaki is like its own shade, and so right. So for me, I don't really wear like light brown. I don't even know where that would even how that would come out. But for my skin
I have
tone
a
as a
light brown tweed jacket.
I do I.
Yeah.
I guess I do. I guess
I'm certain you have
it's like
some light brown pieces. I mean, I cannot believe that you're like, no,
I
I've purged it all,
I
but
guess I guess like maybe like an I don't know how to describe my skin color exactly, but like I will say I don't own anything
Mhm.
that approximates my skin tone. And um I feel like I've always known that. So I don't like fall into that trap, you know? Um like I'm trying to think of like colors I don't wear. I wonder if I like kind of know why it doesn't work for me, or
I'll
why
pitch
I
a
just don't
color
like it.
that's kind of in this thing is that, like, I don't wear a lot of peach just because I think that I don't like how it looks on me, right? But it's not like there's some sort of like, color god out there who's going to tell me when I die, yeah, bro, that was the wrong like color for your complexion, and it's empirically so. You know what I mean? That's just the point that I'm trying to make. I think that, like, if it was the right material, if you had the right intentions, you could wear any single color that you wanted to. But
Yeah,
you're
no.
also entitled to your preference of, like, I don't want to wear this color for X, Y, or Z because it's all part of it. I mean,
Yeah, I guess I mean I've never really thought about a color I can't wear. I just know colors or I just don't wear. Well, no, I feel like I could wear anything.
which is good.
I've never
I
seen anything
personally,
that
oh, right.
that fits my what do you call it? That fits my skin tone. What was that, Ivan?
No, I was gonna say I personally do not like light green. I think that is an extremely non-versatile color.
Light green.
Yeah,
Light
I
green.
guess like yeah, okay. I mean like I
yeah,
feel
like
like I
lime or
lime. Okay,
shit
well,
like that.
that's it's one of those things too where I can't also I have to imagine how menswear would do it, right? Like
Well, I
that's
think
kind
we
of
could
one
look to our
aspect.
friend Axel Wall, who has doesn't he have like a green Jake shirt that's light green, or maybe I'm
I
thinking
mean,
of
that's
Philip actually.
shirts. I view colors for shirts and jackets very differently because jackets are like the first thing you see, and
Sure. Okay.
from okay, so for me personally, my my colors for outfits follow a very specific structure. It's like the jacket is will probably be like the most colorful thing there. Then it's like a really pale shirt, and then a very conservative tie. The shirt is like something I don't pay attention to. It's either solid or striped. But
Hmm.
jackets, most of them are dark. I have a few light ones in camel hair and one light brown tweed. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the direction I follow for color. I, I I don't know. I just don't like green. I don't have much to say about that. I'm looking through my closet right now, and it looks very bleak because of how dark it is.
Turn on some lights,
But
buddy. You'll see many more colors, I promise.
I will say that my color palette uh, differs depending on what kind of outfit I'm wearing. If I'm wearing a tweed jacket, I will most likely be wearing like a waistcoat and gray trousers, and like a green tie. But if I'm wearing a dark navy or gray suit, I will most likely be wearing a solid or a striped shirt with a navy tie or a red tie. It's very rare that I go outside of those parameters.
No, though. I mean, just speaking as an outside observer, Ivan, I would say that even if you maybe have a majority of more muted colors in your wardrobe, I do see some pretty intriguing combinations that you come up with. And I mean, I just, not knowing what your thought process is, intrinsically, I do sometimes think the vibe is like, fuck it, I'm gonna see if I can make this work, to which I applaud. I think, if you're just trying to make cool pieces in your wardrobe fit together and, the colors might not be what you originally imagined, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, my goal is always to like as English as possible, sort of my aesthetic. But there are certain colors that go with that aesthetic, like
Hmm.
browns or gray or grays and blues. But sometimes, yeah, I like to go outside of that box with like a very colorful Hawaiian shirt or Madras shorts or shit like that. Yeah.
Don't make me
Yeah,
watch this
no,
and put this away.
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on. Um, no, I think it's fun. It's fun to think about colors in terms of like again the aesthetics and the palettes of what you're drawing inspiration from, and then using color to again to subvert that, right? Like I think that's why I like black base aloha shirts are a good example of something like that where you know you expect an aloha shirt to be vibrant and reds, blues, greens, yellows, but then of course there are ones that are black and they have like white flowers on it or something like that, and it makes it look kind of cool and kind of edgy. I mean that's also kind of like the basis for like black jeans, right? They're not blue, they're black. Like there's an intentionality behind it, and I think that's kind of fun to think of when creating outfits, and
Mhm.
it's I would say obviously as menswear, as a menswear podcast blog and everything, things are um unfortunately kind of trapped because of how Eric said before, like everything, all the dyes, it's all it's historic.
Mhm.
All of these roots are here. So like obviously with menswear, it is hard to think of like an orange jacket because historically it wasn't really made that often. That's not to say that it wasn't, because obviously we have that picture of Dan, and when I was at Sean Crowley's, he had an orange tweed like jacket from the 70s. Obviously, the 70s might be a time of more experimentation. Of course,
There's
you had that
lots of
whole
orange in the 70s, actually.
yeah,
They loved
exactly.
it.
So it kind of makes sense, when you think about it that way, right? Or you have like the Edward Sexton yellow DB suit worn
Mhm.
by um fuck Mick Jagger, right? Yeah, it was him.
Mhm.
um who wore it. So it's like, there's always going to be kind of precedent for kind of stuff like this, and Ivan talking here about the light green. I mean, like it's not actually looking at it, it's not bad. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't commission it myself, but if
I think it
I,
just I'm sorry. I think for the light green, it just depends on the outfit. Like I think light green only works in a certain environment.
I mean, I would
Like
wear it with like, I mean, again, for me, right? A lot of this stuff is like if he just wore this outfit, um, with like darker pants. I feel like it'd be better for me. You know what I mean? Like the dark brown, white OCBD, black knit tie. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's this. When wearing colors, I feel like there's excuse me, almost a small inkling for people to like kind of go crazy or tonal. Like so, I guess let me see if I can put this with our Twitch chat here. But for example, in this picture with Raphael, yeah, he's wearing the green jacket, but he's also wearing like a green tie, and then his
Mhm.
like trousers are on the
brown.
lighter
Ew.
side. They're kind of echoing the lightness of the green, but to me it just kind of becomes a little not washed out. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem right to me. I feel like
He's
a
It's
just
definitely
dehydrated.
all the same.
He's
It's
drinking
all the
water.
same saturation, which is
there
an
you go.
interesting thing.
That is, and I feel like that is something people tend to lean on when stuff like this happens. And I feel like people, for some reason, people are afraid to pair like lighter colors with darker colors. Like again, here, if it was like a dark green tie or even like a dark navy tie, something like a little bit more of like a foundation,
More
like again,
contrast.
more contrast. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's how I would wear it. Like I mean, it's fine. The outfit's not bad. Actually, this might be one of Raphael's more tame outfits, honestly.
If I cover
But
up his head, I actually kind of like the outfit a lot, which is rude.
yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
interesting.
Raphael.
And so yeah, it needs an anchor, David. You're correct there. And I feel like obviously the jacket is the star of the outfit here, and he's kind of playing into it. But again, like I feel like this would be super Ivy if you work with like even if you did it with like khakis, like a light khaki or something. I feel like it'd be fine, but you would need like a dark, like knit tie or a chambray shirt or something to kind of give it again contrast.
I
You know,
do
so it's
think. Sorry.
yeah.
Excuse me.
No, go ahead, Ivan.
I was gonna say that I do think that certain uh colors in light do not go with certain colors in dark. Like I don't think black watched curtain goes with a lot of light colors.
That's fair. White. You could do a white jacket. You could do like a white dinner jacket with black watch trousers.
Because I have a pair of black watch shorts, and they are, I don't know if it's for my wardrobe specifically because I have a very specific palette. But I have a surprisingly hard time, like making a good fit with them.
Mm.
So I don't know.
You can't discount the pattern either. Just which we cannot extend this all to pattern too on top of color because, the short version, is that introducing a lot of different colors within a pattern can just make things pretty confusing, which I think is why lots of people choose to stay with solids.
That's true. Yeah, we might have to talk about patterns and stuff, but that's oh god, I can't.
Oh God.
At this point, I can't even think about writing about Like I don't know how to tell
That
you
pattern would
plaid
be
and
easier than
stripes.
color, though.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I actually I have to disagree there. I mean, it's hard, you know. I mean, I can't think about it right now. But interesting here, Dan. You'd want that on a cardigan. I would not want that on a cardigan. I would not want that light. I think it's good as a jacket. It would be bad as trousers, and it would be bad as a shirt, and
Like a
bad
black
as a
watch.
tie. It's no. The picture of Raphael.
The predicament I have with this shade of green, and it's my cultural connotation, is that it just reminds me a little bit too much of snot. It's just really like it has a little bit of a bodily fluid vibe to it, and it's unfortunate. It's not fair to the color, but that's what it reminds me of.
That's the reason why some people don't wear brown because it reminds them of blue.
Well, what a strange life you lead if everything you see that's brown reminds you of that, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
a
mean, I only remembered it
diverse
because there was.
spectrum of browns too.
There's a lot of brown in the world. I'm just saying this
I agree
specific
in the
one.
world. Let's
My
go blue.
God. Any other thoughts you guys have on clothing, MJ, with color and everything like that? Any favorites? I mean, how about we just talk about like our favorite to lean on? I know Ivan talked about his English color palette. MJ, what do you have?
Going back up the chat to David saying OD green is the ultimate green or the ultimate color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get on board with that. The like the subdued versions of colors that are like what we were talking about before, how regular people or regular guys say, "Oh, that's too bold," but it's like not, because it's not just bright red or bright, bright blue, bright green. It's like, it's the variations that make it cool. Going back to like the the milsurp stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. It's I mean, and it's clear, right? Because you like milsurp stuff. Like it just kind of works together in that regard. Um, and yeah, I mean, for me, right, Esquire Man, trad stuff, all those stuff kind of go hand in hand with certain colors. Eric, what do you think? I'm gonna use Russian, but go ahead and talk about your colors. Have any final thoughts before we watch this dumb video?
Go off, King. I did want to do a little callback for Spencer because he mentioned something in the episode. What's kind of weird about color for me is that I am a graphic designer by trade, and by choice, I really love design. And I think what we might all relate to is the thing where like you talk about fashion with people, and they're like, "The fuck are you talking? Like, why do you think about this so much?" So for me, this is like a doubling down for me when I'm talking about color, where I'm like, I better like not go too far, or else everyone's gonna like turn their computers off and throw it into the ocean. Because I could just talk about this forever. But something interesting that Spencer said was like, well, some colors are not are newer than others. Like our human perception of colors is newer. Um, like ancient humans couldn't see the full spectrum, which there is a lot of like weird archaeological evidence about that. Like a key example of that is the ancient Greeks always wrote about the wine red sea. And it's like, bro, the sea doesn't look like the color of wine.
Yeah.
But what they were actually talking about was saturation. They were trying to equate like how dark the sea was to how dark wine is.
It was
And the
deep.
Greeks totally believed exactly, right? So like in Greek society, their understanding of color was entirely like based on saturation, which kind of goes to show that like this is all kind of made up by people. You know what I mean? It's not like there's an intrinsic truth behind each color. But anyways, if anyone ever listens to the stream and is like, wow, I mean, I'm a color historian and you're full of horseshit, I'm very sorry. I did my best to relay all of the color information that I spent a lot of money in art school learning about.
Yeah.
But what else? That was the only thing about like history of color I wanted to bring up really quick. Me, I'm a little simp for blue. I fucking love blue. I have a favorite blue, which is navy peony. You can look it up in the Pantone color. And if I were a rich person, my entire house would be that color. And also like IK blue. I think that that's a color that like all of y'all should investigate, even though it is a little bit like close to the blogger blue, electric blue. But they can't take that cool shit away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you just have to appropriate it away from that stuff, right? You have to
Exactly.
you have to gain enough influence that you could do that, and nobody will think about the other thing.
You know, just fucking wear an electric blue suit with like dark brown shoes. That's fine. Who, you know, it's the tan shoes that make it like the bad wombo combo there. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, right? There's that whole what do you call it?
I don't know.
Article if I put this on about like the tan shoes and like you just have to find the right outfit for tan shoes and probably vice versa. The electric blue suit probably needs a different type of shoe because I mean it's like you probably have seen certain ones from Pity that are not bad, but they're probably still like on the blogger blue spectrum of things, but it's still able to be done particularly well because it's not worn the way the bloggers would do it. You know, there's a whole executional aspect behind this. Before we close out, I do want to say on that aspect of like the of the blogger blue. I remember I bought a suit on Indochino a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, and the picture was different than when I got it, and it was
Ooh.
yeah I got it and it was like I got like a blue twill suit. It wasn't their premium navy, but it looked pretty close. I got it. It was electric blue. And I was
That
like,
is a like classic design problem across all mediums where it's like I totally know what this color is going to be, and then like you get it back from the printer or the shop or wherever, it's like this isn't the color I wanted.
yeah, it was very unfortunate. And then I ended up getting um the navy blue suit. Normally they said just keep it, and then they made me another one, and then I kind of wish I don't know if I'd still wear it, obviously. But I forgot who has it. I think one of the Gooch brothers might have that now. So
Too bad. I mean, I
yeah,
would
it's
challenge you to like see if you could find something from a long time ago that's in a pretty kind of bold or maybe hashtag Bensor color and see if you could make it work today. You know?
yeah, that's hard though because not only is the color different now, or like my appreciation, but the fit will be different. Not
Yeah, it's the
body
fit and the
wise,
materials which might
but
be worse than the color, honestly.
exactly. So it's like again, I don't go back as I've said repeatedly in our Discord over some personal topics. But it's
And are we going to reveal who the person from New York who annoyed you was, by the way?
Oh, I'll tell you that after we finish out today.
Secrets!
Yeah, secrets for the Patreon.
Very exciting.
I guess, or only for the 4 people live right now. Unfortunately, sorry guys.
It's gonna be real
But
awkward if it's Ivan.
yeah, Ivan, you fucking bitch. All right, let's watch a little bit of this. We can let's not watch it in 2 speed. We can just skip through it. I prefer skipping rather than like going fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's.
There should be
I
like a
agree.
description
That's fine.
of the most.
yeah, we're doing this our way. Spencer is not in control right now, so
And I mean they
it
have
our way.
timestamps, so we know it's coming.
Also, before we start here, whoa, Preston getting a promotion here, content director of the Gentleman's Gazette. Congratulations.
Like the chief gentleman.
Chief.
Yeah, the CG of the GG. I like again. We're not trying to be mean here, but the Gentleman's Gazette is probably the best YouTubing one out there. I mean, a lot of them aren't bad. We just like to make fun. We just poke fun. But let's start here. Let's see what he's got going on. Kind of a grandpa
The Gentleman's
outfit,
Gazette.
whatever.
In today's video, we'll
That's
discuss the
not-
various basic
Oh,
colors found in
boy.
apparel and accessories,
Rainbows, that's the
their
only thing that could
positive
be a color.
and negative associations,
Is
and
rainbow
what
a color?
wearing them says about
Nice
you.
flavor.
I mean, I guess.
That
kinda.
DB looked vintage. I'm kind of curious.
Is it deep?
Okay. What the colors you wear say about
When
you? Okay, this is
assembling your
interesting.
outfit each day, there are a number
Okay, it
of
looks like a 3-roll
considerations
too.
to
Oh,
be
that's
made.
the
overall
that's a street
seasonality
supply.
scale,
Okay, so he's got
seasonality,
like an
and what in
Robin's blue,
particular you may have on your
like
schedule.
double-breasted
Equally
waistcoat.
important to
Oh, I thought
these,
you were
though,
commenting.
are the colors you choose to incorporate, as colors not only have the potential to
Colors
affect
are-
the mood of others around you, but also to
okay,
present
that's-
aspects of your own personality.
If you fuck up your
Did we-
colors,
did we-
you'll
okay,
ruin
pause it.
people's names.
Yeah, pause it real quick here. Are we still on this whole color makes mood thing? Like, how is that still like? Oh, don't wear red. You don't want people to be angry at you.
Yeah.
Like
I would only be concerned about that if I was like maybe an architect.
bull?
Because you just
Oh,
don't want to
yeah.
make like a neon like yellow room for accessibility reasons, but beyond that it's like no, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, with clothing. I mean, again, and also classic men's. It's like, oh yeah, wear a red shirt to show power. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
like, come
It's
on,
like
dude.
I
like,
saw this
it's
guy
not-
in a blue suit and I'm just so sad.
Yeah, see, I see. The thing is, I think red striped shirts are cool because to me they seem very like '90s yuppie, not because like, oh, it exudes power and sex appeal or whatever,
Well, I'd argue with you, but you exude too much power and sex appeal. So
Oh, I'm glad I'm wearing
once
red.
It was a bad look to wear a red tie, and if you had like a job at Wall Street, because it would indicate that your socks were the red.
So wear black ties all the time, so
That shit's
you're in
so
the black
dumb.
all the time. I know it's stupid. All right, let's see.
so
Let's
dumb.
keep going.
Let's keep going.
Can even change our heart rate.
Oh, also,
blood
there's no
pressure,
research
and
about this, so that's what
respiration,
also
as
makes me mad.
researchers Keith
No,
and
no, this
discovered
isn't
in
fucking real.
1974. With
Yeah,
that in mind,
1971,
then,
never
we
peer
rounded up
reviewed.
The most common associations to the colors of the rainbow.
It's
grayscale,
completely different.
and
That was
everyone's
50
favorite
years
outlier,
ago.
brown, to show how you can incorporate them into your outfits with reflections
Okay.
of your own personality. Without
I
any
do like the
further
purple
ado,
tie.
then,
Oh,
let's
okay.
jump right in and start with red.
Basic.
Positive
I
associations
hate
with
this.
color
The
red
tiny pin
include
dot polka
passion,
dot. That's
love,
dumb to me.
romance, arousal.
Oh, this whole
boldness,
thing's on
energy,
mood, bro.
The whole
willpower,
thing,
Wow.
really?
Okay, so
confidence,
man.
persuasion, excitement.
Yeah, it's each color. Okay, okay.
leadership, and
Let's see.
strength. Meanwhile,
okay.
negative
Negative
associations
associations.
include
The
danger,
space.
aggression, and riskiness. And
It's like almost worse than astrology.
Hey,
No, it is worse than
ri-
astrology.
riskiness can be
Yeah,
a
it's pretty
cool one, okay?
Overall, red is a color that's highly charged with emotions, and boldness is the name of the game.
Too
With
bold.
that in mind,
Don't
try not
flash
to
me.
overdo how much
That's
red
bold.
you're
That's a really
incorporating
bold
into your
shirt
outfit,
because it's
or
red.
it will have the potential to look overly flashy. If you wear a lot of red,
That tie
chances
was
are that you're
busting.
energetic,
The brown with the red.
strong-willed, and outspoken.
Yeah, that
You
was.
like to
That's,
live life to the
oh,
fullest and take
boy.
risks more
I think there are
than
bigger
others.
problems with the colors in
You're
this
also likely
outfit.
to be
Yeah.
easily
Okay.
excitable
Okay. So it's a
and
joke. Okay,
perhaps
he's doing it as a
slightly
joke. Okay, good.
self-centered.
This is actually pretty
Conversely,
hilarious,
if
though.
you're
That's
Yeah.
they
hoping
should.
to get
If
But I
they
mean,
have a
it's stuff that
Discord,
they
they should have that
have,
as a
so
consider
it's
gift.
funny, right?
incorporating more red
Yeah.
into your outfits, as the science of optics tells us that red
Nice
is
Pin
jacket.
dots
often
just don't
more
look good. I
Optics?
to
feel.
be noticed by the human
Ugh,
eye.
God.
Stop signs are red for a reason, after all.
they
Multiple
mean
studies
stop.
on the color red have shown that it can have various effects on behavior, including that it can raise heart rate, affect your attention span.
If that's true, why
and
does
make
Santa
people who are
wear red?
wearing it
Checkmate.
seem more attractive.
Yeah, he's the most focused dude of all
Red
time.
pairs well with
Hey, gotta get
blue,
everything done in one night, right?
gray, and brown, Just make sure
my
to
God, on
use
that
it
grind.
in moderation and consider more
I will
muted
say like
shades
certain
like
foulards,
maroon
like I think
as
red
opposed
and
to
blue
a
foulards are
bright,
cool. Brown,
true
I mean,
red. Next
never
up
mind.
is
I guess I would
orange,
wear all
whose
kinds of colors of
positive
foulard
associations
ties.
include creativity,
Yep.
ambition,
That doesn't seem like a
energy,
good color combo to me. The
sociability,
dark red with the blue
friendliness,
does not
warmth,
seem cool. Like that
positivity,
tie is fine.
opportunity,
Orange.
youth,
Oh,
learning,
okay. Here's something I
abundance,
don't do.
and
Pause it. Okay,
optimism.
here we go. I don't like matching my pocket square to my fucking tie or shirt or jacket. I don't do that shit.
Nah.
Maybe it's because I only wear, or I typically only wear like white pocket squares. I do have a couple of Drake's ones that I wear that are semi-complimentary, but I don't like this. This should not be a check mark. This should be a check it off the death list because it's dead.
It is die.
But like this, like there again, not trying to be mean here, but I am just not like who puts on this much orange and is like, hell yeah, dude. Like it doesn't even it goes past the whole like okay, kind of like 70s, 80s businessman. It just goes straight into I'm Mr. Halloween, you know, like that's like
This
that's
guy's
what this
about to
looks
drink a gallon of pumpkin
It's
spice
October,
latte.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Come on.
It's
October.
Spooktober.
Yeah.
It's Octo Halloween, Mr. Octo
It's Octi
Halloween.
Doggy. We all know.
Octo Doggy. Yeah, no, because it's like also this tie is just bad, man. Like orange and brown, that's Halloween, bro. Like it's the orange, or I mean, I guess orange and black would be at least Princeton, but it still doesn't come off that way. And then you got like the pale, like orange or yellow shirt. Oh, bro, what do you do? Optimism? More like optimize these nuts. Dude, come on. I keep
Got
going.
him. Got him.
Negative associations include
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
immaturity,
I like this one.
divided
That's a good
attention,
outfit.
and
That's very cool and
tackiness.
prep.
Orange is something of a hit or miss color overall, as wearing it
Yes, they
can
never
show
miss.
that you're creative and
Yeah.
ambitious.
That's
but
a good one.
wearing
This is a
too
good.
much,
This is
you've
good
got
because
the
it's in a
potential
see,
block
to
stripe
like what I
tie.
was saying, like it's a
or
subdued
a
orange
traffic
that's
cone.
not this.
Similarly to red,
Well, it's also
more
because it's with a
muted
block
shades,
stripe
whether
as
those
opposed
be
to like just
pastel
being a
tones
repeated
or
grid. I feel
darker
like
shades,
see, okay,
can
first off,
soften
these
visibility.
ties suck. Like the like micro print foulards, micro florals, Macclesfields, I hate them. They gotta be soft squares only. You know, bigger, medium scale. This just it becomes too like I don't know. It looks too busy.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Let's
you're
get to
gonna
another
like
color.
write like 500 pages on tie patterns whenever that article comes out
Oh
in
my god!
2026.
I know. One of the first things, right? Like one of the first Discord conversations was like Philip saying like, "How do you know what's a good tie?" And I like jumped in. I was like, "All right, here you go. Here's how I pick ties." And then
And then you
I
woke
did
up from your fugue state 2 days later.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, I really like. I mean, the whole blog is just me trying to explain things that I feel like I already know, but people clearly don't know, and I need to like find the words for it. Um. Like I mean, hey, slouch and color, and what's next? I mean, going out outfit. So, all right, let's go to what's the next color after orange.
Yellow. You want to
Let's see.
get to yellow?
Let's go yellow.
Yellow,
Okay,
whose
I do
positive
like the yellow tie. That's
associations
kind of cool.
include
Don't
happiness,
like it what
courage,
he's wearing.
sunshine, activity,
Duh,
creativity,
boy.
excitement, alertness, and an
God, stop
overall
this outfit for
Stop.
Halloween.
Why?
God,
He just switched the
Negative
shirt but kept
associations
everything
include
else.
immaturity, addiction,
It's like,
and
this is
fear.
bomb.
In
I gotta
general,
use this again.
wearing yellow
Oh my
will
god.
contribute
You know, okay,
to
pause
a
it though.
happy,
You'll be sick with this though. Is like light wash jeans, navy jacket, cowboy boots. You know, like
Okay.
prep. Like yeah, prep western kind of thing, you know?
Dallas.
Like yeah, exactly. I feel again, you know, the like we were saying earlier, like anyone can wear whatever color, but sometimes it's the way you wear it that'll help it out, right? Like I actually don't mind, you know, I wouldn't buy it, but like I don't mind like vibrant polos like this because in my head it seems very like, you know, 80s businessman, you know, like on a plane or something, which is kind of a fun aesthetic to do, but of course you got to do it right, you know? So like don't wear this with like fucking shorts, you know? Like wear it with like jeans and then wear a sport coat on top or something.
Yeah.
Um I one thing that's scary though that I was trying to think of that I was thinking of a little bit is like yeah, like with the J Muser guys do like wearing like vintage like Lacoste polos, And I'm like, dude, like, yeah, a green polo, a yellow polo is kind of sick, but I don't need more shirts, bro. I don't need them.
No more.
Please stop.
No more. Please. All right,
Okay,
keep going.
yellow is the
It's
happy.
the color of sunshine. Yeah.
Happy, fun, positive
accord-
sunshine.
Fun and positive
accordingly-
mood overall. It is the color of sunshine, and
It is
accordingly,
hot.
it has the
Is it the
potential
color of
to
sunshine?
lift
I believe
everyone
that
up.
light
Studies
exudes
have
all
shown that this
colors,
mood
and thus that is
lifting
false.
partly
This
contributed
wait,
to by
Raglan
increased
double-breasted
production of
overcoat?
serotonin
What
in
the
the
hell?
brain when observing the color yellow,
It's a good
and
sign.
it also has the potential
Yeah, it's a good
to
tie,
raise
bad pocket
people's
You're
square.
telling me I should
metabolism.
paint
Is that even
paint my
yellow?
whole room yellow,
concentration, which is why you
so
see
I'm
it
always
on
happy.
billboards, street signs, legal
Hey,
pads,
hey,
and
yellow, the Geico
typewriters.
guy and
Similarly to
and those
red
fucking
and
notepads, they all
orange,
use
the
them.
other warm colors, it's also best used in moderation and in lighter or darker
Why
shades.
do you feel the
Yellow is
need
also a
to have
color that
more
can
than like to
communicate
echo that
fear,
color
so if you're
overall,
naturally
dude?
timid or shy, you may want to avoid it or wear it only in small doses. It's
That's
great
We know
for
that it's a
casual
Gentleman's
wear,
Gazette video
weekends,
because there's
and the
always
warmer
a
months of the year,
flower in the
and it
lapel.
pairs well with gray.
He does
Gotta
have. I
have
mean,
it.
brown in
that's a
particular.
pretty good like
We've
bow
also
tie
got
though,
a
like the
video on
buff
wearing
yellow, right?
and you can find it
I think
here.
is really
In the
good.
number 4 slot is green, whose
Okay, here we
positive
go, green.
associations include freshness,
I haven't supposed to be vindicated
relaxation,
here.
This is
recognition,
oh
care,
god, that
sociability,
pale yellow,
money and
pale green
finance,
shirt like that
nature,
with the green tie
charisma,
is so like
trustworthiness,
Office
creativity,
Space.
balance,
When are we
healing,
gonna
and
see the
gentleness.
leprechaun look here?
Negative associations include mystery, envy, rigidity,
Mystery?
and
Yeah,
stagnation.
Negative. I
mystery
want
is
that.
cool, man.
Easy on the eyes and on the mind, so if you find yourself wearing green regularly,
I used to have a
there's
sweater
a
like
chance
that.
you
That
want to
stain
be
on the
well
back?
liked and recognized. Green is said to
What kind of
produce the
connotation does the
least
stain
amount of
have?
eye strain when exposed
Bad.
to it for long
Eye
periods of
strain?
time,
No.
and researchers at the University of
eye strain.
Amsterdam have found that seeing green keeps people in a good mood.
This is
overall.
hilarious.
A study published
How
in
do
the
you how does he
Personality
think
and
of these
Social
like
Psychology
these
Bulletin
things?
also found that green can stimulate creativity. When
What
researchers
is
exposed participants in
happening?
a study to the color green before they began working on a creative task, the
I don't know
researchers
what's
found
real
that the
anymore.
creativity of the participants increased.
You're gonna have B-roll.
green is also
Just sit over
Okay, let's
here.
see what else is
associated
in here.
with
Let's see what
nature,
else.
so it can have a great
blue things
blue.
or
Blue. Here we go. Blue.
Associations here include friendliness, loyalty, positivity, confidence.
How did they come
calm,
up with
honesty,
these like
trustworthiness,
these
peace,
adjectives and or
intelligence,
like
efficiency,
qualities?
success,
That's actually
control,
not bad. That's not a
kindness,
bad outfit.
sympathy,
This
independence,
is
truth, and
Yikes.
wisdom. There are
something.
comparatively few negative
He
associations
looked like he was really
here,
exerting
but
himself
those
on that
most
swing.
commonly reported
Yeah.
are shyness and
Tighten your
coldness.
tie, bro.
Overall,
Look at that
blue
gap.
is a soothing color that will make those around you feel more comfortable. Research from the University of British
Good
Columbia,
suit.
among other
Good suit.
Good
institutions,
soup.
has also found that darker hues
soup.
like navy
favorite
blue
soup.
can
New
increase
podcast
the
now.
production
Without
of
saying soup,
calming
soup.
hormones like oxytocin in the brain, and that people feel
Ah, you hear
safer
that? Wear a blue
exploring
suit,
their
release
ideas
Yeah, so
oxytocin.
when
wear a
they're
blue
surrounded
suit,
by
paint
blue.
your room yellow.
Blue can
You'll
often
always be
give its
happy.
wearer
I
a
should look
sense
up.
of
I'm
being
gonna look
in
up. I'm gonna
control,
look up
so it's a
how
particularly
much
good
the
choice for job
Fort
interviews
Belvedere
or
ties
other
are.
corporate events. Blue pairs particularly well
Because
with
I want
pink,
like
red,
more
and
knit ties.
orange, also called violet, and its
Yeah, I'm on
positive
it. I'm looking it up.
associations
Your favorite-
include
Purple is
leadership,
violet?
Oh, they're
sophistication,
130.
wealth,
That's
luxury,
a lot,
creativity,
bro.
Is this why you
charm,
like purple,
insight,
Ethan? It's
confidence, imagination,
it exudes
Charm,
sentimentality, and
insight,
luxury and-
confidence.
Negative
Hell yeah,
associations,
dude.
meanwhile,
They got
include
me.
intimidation,
That's a great
unpredictability,
tie. That's such a good
sensitivity,
tie.
shyness, and
Unpredictable
introversion.
Ethan M. Wong.
As we've
Wait, why is
discussed in our
sensitivity a
previous
negative?
video on
Introversion,
wearing and
shyness.
purple,
Sensitivity,
which you can
guys?
find here, rulers throughout history wore purple in their robes and
That's a
other
dude was in
vestments, so you
Damn
can
slugs.
tap into some
That's
of this
dangerous.
regal power by putting purple into your outfits.
They look very
Purple
elegant.
projects confidence in its wearer, but on the flip side, others may also find purple a bit intimidating subconsciously.
I am
That's why I
Purple
wear
pairs
it.
well with the grayscale, white, gray, and black, as well as brown, red,
Okay, what color
and
doesn't
blue.
pair well with
Coming to the
grayscale?
end of the rainbow now, let's talk about pink, whose positive
Okay.
associations include sincerity, love, romance, optimism, sophistication,
Should pick up a
comfort,
pink
affection,
Brooks Brothers
nurturing,
OCBD because
kindness,
it's
and
literally the only one that I find
negative
on eBay
associations for
consistently.
pink include vulnerability and weakness. To get the most
I
obvious
gotta
point
hand it
out of the
to
way first,
Chase for
pink
picking
isn't
some of these
just
ties
for
that
girls.
Jamie's are out, because
It
these
can,
look
of
really
course,
good.
be worn by anyone. Up until the mid-20th century, pink was actually
that's a
a
purple.
common color for young boys,
The
and it
peak
used to
year
be
for pink.
associated with Mars, the Roman god of war. Pink
pink
may
Oh yeah, a
also
lot
have
of Greek
powerful
statues
effects
were
on
painted like
mood and
pink.
emotional health as
Oh
well.
yeah, they were.
In the 1970s,
Pretty sweet.
psychologist Alexander Schaus found that prison inmates who stared at
Alexander
walls and
Schaus.
ceilings painted in pink reported a decreased level of aggression.
I still haven't
overall.
seen Casino.
Pink
I
is
feel like I got
I
to
do.
now.
well-liked
I
color by
kind of like it,
society,
you guys. I
and
do kind
as
of like the
such,
Casino
it's
look.
often used in
You
marketing
do?
initiatives.
No, I mean,
You can think
again,
of breast
you could wear
cancer
anything as
awareness
long as you're
or
smoking
the
a fucking
millennial
cigarette,
pink
right? Like, you
wave
know,
of
and if you look like
2017 as
Robert De
Yeah, it's a
Niro.
really like
Pink
wild
as
take that I
well
have
with
that Robert De
red,
Niro is a
yellow,
handsome
green,
man who can pull
blue,
things off.
gray, and teal, which
mean,
of
when
course
he was
is a
young, it was
combination
good,
of
man.
green and blue. For more on pink,
Now that he's old,
our
I don't
video
believe any of
is
it.
here. Next up, let's get into the grayscale,
Okay,
beginning
we'll look
with
up
white.
knit tie.
Positive associations
with
here
silk,
include
knit tie
confidence,
on eBay.
perfection, balance,
There's
innocence,
so many of them.
purity, simplicity, optimism, positivity,
Wait, which color are we
courage,
talking about?
reliability,
White?
and freedom. Negative
You're talking about
associations for
gray.
white include perfectionism and sterility. Given that white is
I
commonly
don't know, like
associated with
I don't
things like
like that
freedom,
he's called
purity,
white the color of freedom. That kind of upsets me.
That was like yeah.
Oh,
You just threw that in there.
Shit.
Given that white
You know what's
is commonly
crazy?
associated with things like freedom,
I just found some
purity, and
cable
simplicity,
knit
this is why
knit
many
ties,
people
and I
often
think that's
buy
disgusting.
things in
That's-
white,
why do you wear that
especially
way?
like furniture,
Every day we
when
stray
turning
farther
over
from
to
God's
a
light.
new chapter in their lives.
Can you post
White is
what
a neutral
do they
color,
do they have
or
people
really
wearing
the
them
absence of color,
in the
and
pictures?
No,
thus
no.
it can
I
be
just found it on
worn by
eBay.
many different personality types, as it is, in essence, a blank canvas. In addition to helping you
Damn,
appear
good
clean
knit ties
and
are
innocent,
expensive
white
still.
can also
Charvet,
give the
$100 on
impression that
eBay.
you're
Good God.
well organized and in control of things. Too
I hope
much
these guys
white
had fun at the
can
park
have
when
the
they filmed
potential
this.
to
That's all I can
wash
say.
you out, however, so
what's some
we'd
other
suggest
colors? Let's
pairing
get
it
let's
with
get the
other
fuck through
colors.
this.
Meanwhile, negative
Oh,
associations
positives.
in
Hold on.
mature include balance, neutrality, sophistication, tranquility.
Oh, gray means
maturity,
neutrality?
and
I'm shocked.
composure.
Shocked that that's what it means.
Meanwhile, negative
Yeah, right after
associations
coming
include
from white, right?
blandness, conformity,
It's like
coldness,
White
sterility,
means
and
superiority, and gray
another
means something else. I
staple
don't know.
neutral shade in menswear.
More of this?
wait, he
Gray
just
is a
used
classic
like
that will have you
similar
looking
similar
organized and
descriptors for gray
reliable.
as
If
white.
you find that your closet is
So
full of
why
gray, break
why
up
are
the
they all
monotony
in
of
their
black
own like
outfits by incorporating other
That
colors
tie,
to
the
spice
cable
things up.
one that you found,
While
was it
those
red?
who wear a lot of gray generally prefer not to draw too much
Yeah, I would put it
attention
in
to
live.
themselves,
Yeah, I think
wearing
I
an
just found
excess of gray
shit,
can
dude.
actually suppress your mood in addition to washing you out visually. Darker
Alright.
charcoal grays
Let's
can
get the
make
hell
you
out of here. I'm tired of
powerful
this
Yeah,
video.
this is-
It's driving me
statement,
crazy.
whereas
Hold on, what
blue
does gray
bad.
pair
are
with?
more
Pairs with
nonchalant.
everything, right?
Gray pairs well with pink,
We'll never
black,
know.
with black,
Pink?
whose
Wait, you don't have to
positive
say it.
associations include
You
sophistication.
got
But a
black.
pink, green,
At how you
brown.
No, he said it pairs well with everything.
And don't
That's what he
forget to
fucking
tail with
said.
black, whose positive associations include sophistication,
Oh shit!
strength,
The Armory
power,
brought back the
authority,
ski
formality,
tie, the ski
elegance,
motif tie.
luxury, intelligence,
Cool.
and efficiency.
Damn it, I
Black
really love
does
that
also
tie.
have a
I
number
buy it.
of
It's so
negative
expensive. It's
associations as
$165.
well,
That's
including
too much money,
coldness,
dude.
harshness,
crazy.
depression, aggression, mystery,
And Ethan, have you been
death,
skiing?
and mourning. Black is
I have,
go-to
as a kid, yeah.
for many people,
All right,
of course.
at least
And
you
high
got that
school
like
as well.
legit.
Potential to
you know,
be overpowering.
teared up
and
that
it
fresh
can
powder, you know what I'm
wash
saying?
out many skin tones.
Oh no.
As we mentioned, for both white
We need that
and
as,
gray,
like-
adding some pops of
Yeah,
color
We need that
can
as
soften
an
the look
emote.
overall. Black is also well loved.
When
for
someone
its
says something
ability to
concerning, we can just
slim
pop in
down
the
your
FBI
home a
emote
bit,
right
Yeah.
there.
Should that be of interest to you? But there are other ways of accomplishing this, as you can
All right,
find here.
I'm
People
calling
who
it
wear
that
a
way.
Wait,
lot
there's
of
Get the hell out of
brown.
this one. Brown. Oh, brown.
Its
Okay, brown.
positive associations include commitment, reliability,
Reliability,
stability,
stability,
ruggedness,
ruggedness,
nature,
nature.
intelligence, and respect. Meanwhile, its
Well,
negative
so is
associations include blandness and conformity. Brown is the color
That
of
is
Earth, and
conformity,
similarly to green, is
gray.
also
that's weird.
well represented in nature, and as
I'm
such
glad that
is
he didn't
seen as
say
another
anything else bad
grounding,
about brown
centering
things
color.
because I was worried we were
Wearers
going
of
in a bad
brown are
direction.
seen to be dependable, smart, and rational.
Fresh.
brown
Brown
should
is the
be
color of
cleansed by
brown is the
white.
color of
preferring
oppression.
to consider their options sensibly. Wearers of brown are more likely to take a
Wearers of
conservative
brown.
approach to things, respect
Is
their
that what I'm
elders,
called now?
and
What?
seek out peace and stability
Wearers
as
of
well
Wearers
as
brown.
of brown.
providing it to others.
It's my
Since brown
Dude, that
is
is not the
another
preferred
neutral
that's my new
hue
yeah,
and
that's our new
doesn't
clan name
communicate
for
any
Call of Duty.
strong or heightened emotions, it has also
Okay,
been shown to promote more
Do
effective
you like this?
communication between
This brown or this brown?
brown can be a bit bland in
You already said that.
Hopefully you've learned a bit more today about why you naturally gravitate towards certain
Oh God!
colors.
What?
You've gotten some
What is this
inspiration
combination,
about
bro?
which ones you'd like to incorporate more of
Wait,
in
the
your
pause
Joker,
it.
dude.
wardrobe.
So is Raphael's wearing like a dark jacket with blue pants and tan shoes? Yay!
It's the same saturation, so how would I know?
Yeah, it looks like a mismatched
Wait,
suit.
they're Preston's kind of
It is.
bookended by the same like things. Oh, I don't think you guys can see my cursor, but right?
I can see it. We can see it. Yeah.
It's like I don't know. This is just set up funny.
Yeah, Raphael and Kyle have kind of got the same outfit.
Overall, you've got two basic ways to think about leveraging
Here we
color
go.
in
Two
your
basic
outfits.
ways.
You can either choose colors based upon the mood you're in already, or you can choose colors based upon the mood you'd like to be in. And
Well,
be sure to
I
consider
hate
how
it.
you
think about it
What
like
about
that.
the
I don't
mood
think
that
so.
you want
harmonies
others
with
to
your
be
skin
in?
tone,
Because
eye color, and hair
that's
color.
like the whole video.
Yeah,
A
because
video
clearly.
on that subject
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Found
Alright,
three
outfit
principal
breakdown.
colors, those being
Here's
red,
my bad
blue,
outfit.
and brown.
Okay.
Blue and brown, of course, are staple, neutral
Sorry.
colors in menswear.
I will
and
say that I
red
probably wore
provides
something
some
like this like
bolder
every day in high
accents
school.
and an overall feel
You're
of
not wrong, dude. I did
liveliness.
the same
My
thing.
cardigan sweater contains
But I mean,
tones
back then
of
it was kind of
blue
like,
and
damn.
brown, as
Now
well
Eric's
as
fucking
blacks
aggressive,
and grays,
bro.
and I'm wearing it over a shirt with a
No, everyone was like, "Why is
micro
Ethan
grid
dressed
pattern
up?
in
This
red
guy
and
sucks."
blue on a white ground. The shirt
Let's
has
not
French
invite him to
cuffs,
things.
but I'm wearing
I
them
might
in
have
a
had
bell
more.
style
Please,
today to
I
fit
am.
better
Ah,
under the
God,
sweater sleeves, and
John's
the
on my
cufflinks, which
wavelength,
aren't
bro.
really
Because
meant
it's
to be
like I
seen,
fucking
are in
hate French
simple
cuffs.
black.
Also, I mean, I get
My
it.
trousers are
Suits,
in
whatever,
plain
but they
brown
do
to
definitely
ground
do
the
not
outfit,
go
but they do have
with
a reddish
cardigans, man.
undertone that helps them to
What a
harmonize with
weird
Yeah,
other
just
thing
wear a
to
wardrobe
French
wear.
cuff
elements,
shirt at your
including my
wedding and then
shirt
never wear it again.
and my
That's my opinion.
shoes, which are dark oxblood
Over
penny
here.
loafers from Allen &
What the
Dying.
hell's
Continuing the
brakes
color
are
wheel
these,
today
bro?
are my socks, which are from Fort Belvedere. There are
Purple?
relatively
No
new
at
two-tone
all.
solid design. These of
So fucking cheap.
Oh, it's
Stop
red
it.
and
This
blue.
is this is a
Okay.
Spider
Well, I guess
Spider-Man.
red and blue
This
does
is a
make.
Spider-Man suit pattern.
Yeah, he's wearing Spider-Man suit underneath
Wow.
this whole thing.
It's like the texturing is like the same.
course,
I mean,
in red and blue.
he's got a
To
Peter
find these
Parker
socks, as
Parker
well as
look
a
to him.
wide
Maybe-
array of
Yeah,
other
that's why
Fort
it's
Belvedere
bloated, 'cause it's getting
accessories,
more
you
pictures
can
of
take a
spiders.
look at the Fort Belvedere shop.
Okay.
God, that was tough, man.
I
I
died a
tried to
little bit. I died for the pod, you
Yeah.
guys.
I tried to find something from Real Men Real Style, uh, but
But they don't believe
yeah,
in color, so it's fine.
They're a lot more.
I saw
Red Bull.
Ultimate Guide to Suit Supply. Worth the money? Never do this. Where did hats go? He's photoshopped with that hat on. Like this whole thing is just, it's something else.